Let's look at some of the newspapers, Chris. We've got all different sorts of languages this time. So the first one is from which language?
Greek.
And what's it called?
Today's.
Ici Marini, that's right, today's. And do you know where that one comes from?
Cyprus.
And can you tell me what that says, Steve?
Yeah, that's what I can Volkma.
Very good. Well, this is a language that you know and that I don't know, so you'll have to translate it for me. That's
Turkish.
Turkish. And what's the name of the newspaper?
Turkey.
Günlük Gazete. What does that mean?
Daily paper.
Alright, so what's this? Comienza el Congreso que quitará a guerra o control del PSOE.
PSOE will take back control of the Congress which will leave together.
What is this one? That's a more colourful one.
Hindi.
Hindi. Do you see what that says?
India Today.
India Today. But it says India Today in English, but written in Indian script.
There are some more samples of English besides.
Do you know what the Indian script is called?
Devanagari.
Devanagari. Very
There
good.
are some more samples of English in Devanagari.
Yes.
Vidashi, Nakki, Nakakon, Ki, Bas, Zesachi.
Vaisahi. Yes, that's very good.
Sikhs or Hindus?
It's very hard to tell. This is an even better newspaper. You can tell me which country that one comes from. What's the newspaper called?
The Telegraph.
Do you know where that's published?
Holland.
Holland. And what does that say?
The University wants to pay 5 of Prince Klaus.
It wants to or it will?
It will.
Yeah, that's pretty good. He's learned many of his languages simply from reading books. Teach yourself Greek or Russian, Russian in 3 months, books of this kind. But his favoured way of learning languages is by interacting with people. So if he goes to a Chinese restaurant, he'll interact with the Chinese waiters. He's been on holiday with his sister in Mallorca and spent his time translating for German tourists between German and Spanish. And he managed to, obviously, to pick up quite a lot of German and Spanish in the process.
But how was this talent discovered?
His talent was first discovered when he started reading his elder sister's French textbooks at home. He could already read from the age of 3, but because he has a slight speech defect and was clearly abnormal in other ways, nobody believed that he really had this ability.
Mohan sent her a letter.
Okay, can you read it in Berber?
Mohan Ustabat.
Very good. And this one?
He killed Mohan.
Right. We've also taught him 2 new languages, one of which is Berber, which is not at all related to the Indo-European languages. It's a North African language spoken in Morocco and other places, distantly related to Arabic. And in fact, his learning of Berber has given us striking confirmation of the role of universal grammar in second language learning, because Berber has a very rich inflectional system, which makes it very complicated for us to learn. But languages that have very rich inflectional systems of that kind tend also to allow certain other possibilities which our language doesn't. So all languages will allow you to have sentences with a subject, so I go home, but some languages you can miss out the subject, and Berber is such a language. So you can say in that language, go home, meaning I'm going home, or goes home, meaning he's going home, or he goes home. And you can't do that in English. Now, when we started teaching him Berber, we gave him no sentences at all with an empty subject, with no subject expressed. But because of the rich morphological system of the language, Christoper leapt to the conclusion that you could indeed leave the subject out. And when he translated English sentences into Berber, he spontaneously left out the subjects in exactly the same way that a Berber would.